Thank you all for coming to my session today. My name is Shelley Marshall. I work with Kent State University. I'm located at one of our regional campuses. So we have a main campus in Kent, Ohio, and then we have 7 regional campuses. And I'm at the campus called Ashtabula, which everyone has a really fun time trying to pronounce. Ashtabula being probably the most common pronunciation. So I'm at the Kent State Ashtabula campus. I teach in computer technology. I teach almost 3/4 of my load online. So lecture capture is something that is really important to me. Being away from my students or teaching with my mouth shut can pose challenges, particularly in technology, where the students need to sometimes visualize what it is I'm trying to explain to them. So I've been in IT for more than 20 years, more on the pure IT side. I was an IT manager for Kent State University for 15 years before transitioning into a teaching position just 2 years ago. So I still get a little jittery talking in front of people, so if I sound scared, it's because I'm terrified. So, well, thank you so much. So, the Swivl is a kind of I stumbled upon this tool. I have all kinds of different lecture capture things that I've used before. Video cameras on my laptop, video cameras on a tripod like the one back there. High fidelity lecture capture in classrooms that are classroom based. But I really needed something that was flexible. And when I came across Swivl, I thought, well, this is the tool for me. Now, it's not the tool for everyone, but it's definitely the tool for me. And we're going to talk a little bit about some other use cases other than just pure lecture capture. But the Swivl itself is a little appliance, and you actually use your own device with it. So that gives you a lot of flexibility. The Swivl, it weighs less than a pound, so it's completely mobile. It's flexible in that you can use almost any kind of device with it, right? You can use an iPad, an iPod, an Android tablet, an Android phone, just about anything you can fit in the base of the Swivl you can use with your Swivl to capture your lecture. Swivl can capture audio and video, and when I demonstrate it in a few minutes, you'll see that it follows you. So that's another nice thing. If you're teaching in a classroom, or you're writing on a whiteboard, or you're demonstrating, in my case, switches and routers and hubs, you can walk around and demonstrate the gear without moving, having somebody in the room to move the camera with you, which is nice, right? Because having somebody record you kind of gets you off your game. Sometimes you're like, what's he doing back there, with the camera? The other nice thing I like about Swivl is the Swivl Cloud. So once you capture your video, you can upload it up to the Swivl Cloud. In the Swivl Cloud, you can create groups for your students. So if you wanted just a certain group of students or administrators or faculty to be able to see that video, they only have access to that video or that set of videos. It's also access anywhere, right? So if they have an internet access computer, they can access your videos. Swivl capabilities. So there's, along with just capturing your lecture, you can actually integrate your slides into the lecture. So if you had a slide presentation that you wanted to follow during your lecture, then the video capture is going to be in a window inside or split screen so that they see the presentation and the video. That's also nice. And it synchronizes the audio and video for you as you're recording it. And I'll show you how we do that. There are built-in editing tools and comment capability in the cloud for time-stamped commenting. So if there's something, at 1.25 on your video and they want to comment on that, there's time-stamped video commenting. And like I said, you can use it with most devices. So my case, most of how I use Swivl is simple lecture capture, right? So I want to teach my students how to run an appliance, a firewall, or a network traffic capture tool, something like that. So I want to give a short lecture and show them the device, because at home, it's likely they don't have the device. Or if they have a device, it's not an enterprise level device. So I may want to show them a network server closet. I might want to show them, the cabling rack, things like that. So I can just bring the Swivl in, set it up, and lecture in my little tiny network closet, right? So I don't have to have this whole production of having a, camera guy and the camera and all that, right? I can just bring in the Swivl and put it on a office chair, and I have good quality lecture capture. Some folks use it in their main lecture room, right? So they capture their lecture for students to consume at their own time, right? We all have students who ask endless questions, and you can see on the rest of the students, they get it, but that one student doesn't. And as much as we try to bring that student along, one of the ways that we can do that is to capture our lecture and tell them, you can look at this video as many times as you want to review the content that I just gave you. Because some students process more slowly, right? And they need to be able to look at that content again, particularly in high fail rate classes. So that's something you might want to consider for yourself, is capturing your lecture real time and then posting it online. I always post mine behind a username and password, but some people post them on YouTube for the whole world to consume. So that would be up to you. Online courses like mine, we encourage faculty to do some kind of lecture with their students. But we also realize that students sitting in front of their computer are really not all that engaged, right? They have pop-ups coming up. Facebook, my boyfriend just said something. So we have to recognize that best practice says videos shouldn't be longer than 15 minutes, right? So sometimes we do what we call supplemental instructional videos. So sometimes before a test, we might do a short video, topic-specific video on something that we know the students are struggling on. Or we know that in previous semesters, students have struggled with this. We might also say the last test, something that everyone struggled with. So we'll put a topic-specific video up, just covering those materials for the students, right? And then it's in their hands. If they watch the video, wonderful, they've helped themselves. If they don't watch the video, it'll show on the next test, right? Other use cases, though, our education classes and our sign language classes now have a standard test out where the students have to be videoed, either teaching in a class for education or signing a story or a report or something, and then sending it to their professor. Now, that we've always put that responsibility on the student to say, you figure out how you get that done, right? Use your camera, use your camera on your phone, use whatever. Well, by putting these in the library or some other common area for students to be able to access it, you get a better quality video, and it's not, completely on them to be able to figure out how to do it, right? And these are so simple to use that we don't even really have a big learning curve to show these students, especially in non-tech areas, how to use the Swivl, right? Other ways that it can be used is have students, when they're doing presentations, think about business students. How do we do business now? We do it virtually, right? So teach them how to pitch an idea in a lecture presentation. Have them be able to do some kind of presentation. They can look at it themselves and self-identify things that they do that are annoying, right? Like, I always push my glasses up, and when I have my contacts on, I push up invisible glasses. So I didn't know that until I was recording myself and looking at it, right? So that was something interesting. We have our student tutors. As they work with students through the semester, we have them do their FAQs, right? So what do people always come to me and ask me? We have them do a quick video about that. And then we post it on a central site that students can access that are in those courses. We can do it by course, we can do it by faculty member, you know, all those things. So we kind of expand access to tutoring to our students at a distance. Other cases that we've seen, particularly for like reappointment, tenure, and promotion. Faculty will have external reviewers review them teaching. They can use something like the Swivl to capture their lectures. And the new Swivl actually has like a telepresence so that you can have interactive video conference with the new Swivl. This is the older model. It's about a year old, I would say. You can also have faculty share videos with other faculty. So for instance, using the Swivl, I know how to use it. A couple of my colleagues know how to use it, but we have some in the library, and if nobody ever shows them how to use it, then will they use it, right? So we might video how to use the Swivl and post it on the site. You can also review yourself, like I said, to find out if there's things that you're doing that are distracting your students, right? Or things that you're doing that just are a waste of time. You're saying like and right. Those are my two. So, and you can also use it to share knowledge with other folks. So something that you're a professional in, you might be able to share that with somebody else. You know, we co-teach classes sometimes where we need to bring each faculty member up to speed in the other person's discipline. So we could do short videos to say, here's how I see us collaborating, here's what you need to know about my area for us to be able to collaborate together, you know, things like that. So my point here is, it's really, the limit is your imagination, right? What can you think of for using mobile lecture capture, or mobile, I guess you should just say mobile video capture, right? Because it doesn't have to be a lecture, right? So you have questions so far? Cost. Okay, the Swivl, when I bought this, it was about a year ago, they were $399. Now that's just the base, right? So you have to have another device. You have to have an iPad, iPod, Android, some other kind of device to plug into it. So that you don't really factor that into the cost because most of us have those. But I would, if I were buying something, I would buy the device and the Swivl. I don't know. I don't even know that they have a price list out for it. It's very new. I just heard about it.
I was just looking at it. I saw $299, which seems to be cheaper than the old one.
That often happens, right? Yeah, first comes out, everybody's like, yeah, I'll take it, I don't know how much it costs. And then people get their brain back and they have to. Well, it's only as good as your camera, right? So I've used the iPad and my Android phone, which I have over here somewhere, and the quality is very good. It's very good, and I'll show you on here. Other questions yet?
It's just capturing your video and audio. Is it capturing what you're showing on the screen? Do you have OneNote on there?
Well, you can upload your slides up into the cloud and then download it to the device that you're using, and it'll capture your video over top of your slide. So yeah, so you can use both together.
You can choose either the split screen or the...
On the new one, now on this one, it's picture. Here, you can change the picture-in-picture to make you primary and the slide secondary, which most people choose to do, especially if they're using it like me where I'm showing stuff, where I need them to be able to see it. Then the PowerPoint is kind of secondary, right? So you can change the picture-in-picture, but you can't change it how much of the screen is used. But on the new one, I understand that you can. All right, yes? There is not. There is not. So I just type a transcript after well, it depends on how I'm doing it. If I do it as I've prepared the lecture, then I just post my lecture notes so that they can follow along. Otherwise, I don't.
But did you say that it's only available in the cloud? Can you link to it through your LMS?
You bet.
Can you upload it to another video
Absolutely.
repository that might be able to do assessment as well?
Absolutely. Yes. So that's a very good question. I post them on Blackboard. We have something called KS YouTube, which is our flavor of YouTube. So I can reformat it and put it over in KS YouTube. I don't have to use the cloud. But even so, I can link to the cloud and set up a group in the cloud and then provide my students access to it. So it really depends on the simplicity or the complexity of your environment, right? Okay, so the Swivl comes in this little nifty case. It comes with the charger, a USB cable, a couple of different holders so that the different device sizes can be held inside the Swivl. And it comes with a holder in case you want to wear the dongle around your neck, because it follows the dongle. And it comes with an audio cable, right? So when you first turn it on, and I'll tell you this to save you the grief and embarrassment, there is not a missing piece to the Swivl. As my 10-year-old son told me, it's in the case. So the remote is in the case. And I was mad as a wet hen, like, why did they send me this thing without the remote? It shows the remote in all these pictures. It's in the case. So once you unpackage it, you just put your device on. Make sure it's nice and sturdy. Oh, I have it on upside down. And then you want to plug in your audio cable to the base audio, right? There's a little audio cable here so that it captures the audio using your device. When you first get your device, you'll want to connect it via Bluetooth to the device, right? So you just turn Bluetooth on your device, and this is already on. The Bluetooth is already on the base. So you just pair them, right? Then you open the application, Swivl Capture. And Swivl Capture is going to give you the option to capture video or capture video and slides, right? So if you had slides up in the cloud, you could log into your Swivl account and download your slides to this particular video that you're presenting, right? Once you're connected, it says we're not Bluetooth yet. Right. Well, you get a cloud membership automatically. So I think you get 200 megabytes free in the cloud, and then there's membership after that. But like she said, you can just download them to another source, and you're not going to run out of space on your cloud. All right, so when I turned it on, there's a power button on the base, and then there's this little button here to make sure that we're connected to Bluetooth. And then there's a little tiny power button on the remote. Okay, so when I turn that on, I have to hold it down. Then you'll see that both lights go green. Okay? Now it's going to try and follow the dongle, right? So as I move it, it's going to follow me. So as I'm teaching in the classroom, it's going to follow me while I'm teaching, right? Even if I kneel down or raise up. So all you have to do is on the remote, there's a little button in the middle, and I would hold that down if I wanted to go up or down. It automatically follows me right to left. But holding the button in the middle would let me go up and down with it. Also, if my slides were on, I could use that little check mark button to advance my slides. Okay, so it's capturing my audio and video while I'm advancing my slides. So it automatically synchronizes that. So if I was ready to record, I would just press this little record button, and you can see that it's trying to follow this. So you can see that now it's recording. Yes? Oh, okay. So you can see the fidelity is very good. You know, it's very good quality. So how am I doing on time? Okay, am I done? Okay. So anyone want to come up here and just get a closer look at it? You're welcome to.
I'm concerned with, I use Blackboard, and it seems like anything is too much memory to upload. Does this take up so much memory?
I haven't had trouble, but again, I haven't done videos that are longer than 15 minutes.
Use the YouTube, yeah.
Yeah. And then just do the link, or use the cloud and use the link. Yeah. Questions?
I just wanted to say, we worked with Swivl about a year ago, and they sent us a demo unit to test out.
Yep, they will.
Do that if you want to try it.
I'm so glad you said that, because they will. They're very generous about that. They'll send you a demo unit for 30 or 60 days. If you have a special case that you're doing, they might even extend it. So go to swivl.com and get your demo, requested on there. Thank you all so very much.
We bought two.